Some days I just feel lazy. Even when I know I should make the most out of my day and I don't have school, work, or any responsibilities, I just can't be bothered to do anything. For a long time, I thought there was something wrong with me. And it turns out there might be. Laziness might not be entirely our fault. There have been a number of studies to suggest that laziness could be a character trait. Now hold up, I said could be. One study in particular from Oxford University analyzed data for 90,000 people and identified a genetic component to laziness. And it all comes back to the thing we all know and probably hate hearing now that's crucial for motivation, dopamine. Some of us just have dopamine systems that are a little less responsive than normal, so we have less of a desire to get after it. But this is no excuse to scroll TikTok and play video games all day and never change out of your PJs. Maybe you were dealt an unlucky hand, but here's a cold, hard truth. No one cares about your laziness. Your boss isn't gonna give you slack because you're too lazy to do your job. They're gonna fire you. Your partner isn't gonna put up with you for being unemployed forever. They'll probably just leave you. Laziness might not be your fault, but what you do about it is. So I wanna share 3 important lessons on laziness that I've learned that have helped me navigate feeling like a complete piece of shit. Number 1, you're lazy until you're not. It's not gradual, like a snowball rolling downhill. There's a threshold point where the pain of being lazy is so strong, we have to take action. Our brain is constantly performing mental calculations to determine if we're gonna act or if we're gonna be lazy. Think of it like a cell phone that doesn't display how charged it is. The battery's gonna slowly drain throughout the day, but we don't get any prompt that we need to charge it until it hits 10%, and then that low battery message comes on. It's like, oh great, now all of a sudden I need to charge my phone. Even though we could have gotten off our lazy ass and charged our phone at any time before it reached that point, we don't do it because our brain didn't receive a prompt. That's how laziness works. In the moment our brain calculates that yes, take action outweighs being lazy, it sends the signal. So if we can prompt our brain to send that signal to charge sooner, we'll escape from laziness. The question is, how do we do that? And that takes us to number 2. You can't logic your way out of laziness. It doesn't matter how reasonable your argument is or how many times you try to mansplain it to your brain, it doesn't care. But what a brain does respond to are emotional experiences, and more specifically, experiences attached to things that are bigger than ourselves. I'm totally okay with being a lazy piece of crap, like whatever. But the moment when I realize that other people, especially people that I care about, are negatively affected by my laziness, that changes everything. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, there are a lot of days when the last thing I wanna do is film a YouTube video, or I'm feeling way too burnt out to research mental health and self-improvement topics to create better content. But then I think about my brother, my parents, who are the most hardworking people I know. I think about the thousands of people in our community on YouTube and Discord who tell me that our videos have transformed their life. My StudyQuest students who look to me for guidance and support. Those emotional experiences, deeply internalizing that it's not about me, that pulls me out of laziness. I feel a sense of duty to do it. Not for me, but for the people that I care about. What I'm saying is you won't be able to logic your way out of laziness, but you will be able to emotionally adjust your perspective if you make it about something bigger than yourself. And with that, we move on to number 3. Laziness is more a lack of priorities than a lack of effort. If we don't have any priorities, then we don't have a reason not to be lazy. Our brain is programmed to be efficient and conserve energy. We will only ever do the bare minimum amount of work unless we have clear priorities about why putting in more work is necessary. Like when I started college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and so I didn't have any priorities. And I noticed a pattern in my behavior. The majority of my semester was spent procrastinating, playing video games, and like 2 days before my exam, I'd get super stressed and somehow grind out 50 hours of studying in 48 hours. And I'd score just good enough to pass. In each exam, I pushed my laziness like a little bit further. What was the path of least resistance? How much less could I study but still get that bare minimum result? My thought process was if I could put in just enough effort to get by, then why would I put in more? The shift for me was when I became an EMT and I decided to pursue medical school. It became super important to me, and it was something I really wanted for myself. And guess what? The effort I put in went way up. I could suddenly study 8 hours a day, work a full-time job, volunteer, and then see my friends. It was always in me. We all have the ability to tap into an endless reservoir of energy and effort, but only for the things that we truly value and care about. So what do you care about? What inspires you? That feeling of laziness might just be a lack of priorities, and it's up to you to discover what those are. So even if we are more prone than others to laziness, that doesn't mean that we have to be lazy. I didn't have a clear understanding of how my brain worked. It was just a self-sabotaging and hopeless topic that I didn't know what to do about it, and so I avoided it. But as we all know, running away from our problems, escapism from reality, doesn't solve the problem. It only makes it worse, especially now with how easy it is to distract ourselves, social media, video games, movie. I got fed up with it. So if you're interested in how I got my life back together, I'd highly recommend this video over here for my dopamine detox protocol. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Time for me to go be lazy again since my work is done for the day. See you later.